Greetings and salutations, brutal heads, slam heads. Um, Today I'm going to be reviewing the new nuclear remains that just dropped on New Standard Elite. It's called Heinous Acts of Iniquity. Now, normally I have a CD. Usually bands send me CDs to review. Virologist just did that. I've done it for a few other bands, but I don't even think the CDs are even out yet physically. I think they're just shipping, but I wanted to get this review out. I haven't seen anything online about this new EP. But for those who don't know, this band has been around on the radar in the underground brutal death metal scene. Kind of within the crowd of like Cali Kid BDM, but they're from Arizona. Um, they were on Maggot Stomp, past the prime of Maggot Stomp. Not 2019 Maggot Stomp, no Sangui Sugarbog, Vomit Forth era, no Pit Viper Maggots. They were on Maggot Stomp a little bit after that, but this new EP. So one thing to notice from this is the logo change. So the logo has become New Standard Elitified. I know people were iffy about it. Because to me, Nuclear Remains is considered a old school brutal death metal band. This new EP, upon listening, the influence from Heinous Killings is present. President. I meant present. It's present. There's one track out of the three that really caught my attention. It's Artificial Enslavement. That to me it was like Heinous Killings with the slam of New Standard Elite. So like modern slam. I mean, you have I don't want to mention bands that I don't particularly like in the scene, but I'll just mention like Despondency and stuff like that. Like it's not the New Standard Elite bands that you normally see like shooting promos out, like 2022, 2023 promo, and it's all just like bing 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 bing. This one, especially this track, it was it was like Heinous Killings meets like sickening erotic era Mortal Decay with like some of the more modern slam elements in it. I was actually fascinated, and I was weary. I was also weary, along with a lot of the fans, when they did like the logo switch. They changed the New Standard Elite. It was like, oh my god, like this band's gonna be a fucking 400 BPM band now. It's gonna be like in the loop. But I was actually surprised, and I think that it was Jimmy approved. I think it's a classic from the block. If you haven't checked out this EP, like I said, it's 3 songs. The cover art reminded me a lot of Gorevent, which is a Japanese slam band back in like the like mid 2000s. But in regards to where slam and brutal death metal is in general, it's just kind of quiet right now. There's not really new bands that are really experimenting with stuff. Like you have like Final Resting Place. They're like more in like the Days records with like the hardcore kids. I guess you could kind of group them in with like Internal Bleeding. But I mean, if you want to talk styles, that's very dehumanized and Scattered Remnants, Internal Bleeding based, that are doing it. And like I was, I would describe New Nuclear Remains as like Heinous Killings, modern slam, and then it has that like taste of technicality with like sickening erotic era Mortal Decay, and then you have like for instance like my band Impure Conception. It's like Ripping Corpse mixed with Dehumanized mixed with Internal Bleeding with some Scattered Remnants. So it's like it's very nice that more bands are looking over bands from like the past 25 to 30 years and kind of incorporating that with new styles and a new scene for people that have never even heard of stuff like, Mortal Decay, Regurgitation, Malignancy, Deaden, even like mid 2000s, Heinous Killings, Cephalo Tripsy, you had bands like Clean Flesh, but it's kind of like you don't see much talk about that style of brutal death metal as you would say, like Peeling Flesh and Body Box, like sort of like where I'm trying to say is brutal death metal has kind of taken a turn into more hardcore. A lot of slam bands have turned into beatdown bands. You see a lot more hardcore being implemented in brutal death metal. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's just nice that we have a return to form brutal death metal EP release that has, some guitar solos. There's homage to the classics in the style. There's change in vocal places. There's gnarly screams on this release. There's, frogs. There's crickets. Like I said, there's the Heinous Killing classic vocals on here from, what the fuck is his name? Joe Wolf? Something like that. I don't know. But it's like, when it all boils down, when you're talking about brutal death metal, especially nowadays, it's very hard to have a release that you just listen to and you have the CD and it doesn't just sit on your shelf. So if I was to rate this EP, that first track, or I don't even know if it's the first track, just the one that really caught my attention out of the three. I think the single was like something whore, and then the other one's something abortion. Again, I don't have the CD. Usually, I can just quickly look at the CD and go off of that. But the artificial enslavement one, I mean, like that to me, it's like if I was making a brutal death metal playlist and I'd put like if I was going on a road trip and I had to make a fucking brutal death metal playlist and I'd have like Malignancy, Rotten Seed, and like Internal Bleeding, Anointed in Servitude, and like I don't even know. But I would have Artificial Enslavement with some of like the top singles, like the top hits of brutal death metal. So that's what I think of this release. Like I said, it's a Jimmy approval. It's a classic from the block. I'm expecting a lot more from this band. Like I said, they're around the age where it's still, you still consider them like, kids. Not like 13, but like some like young bucks, like, early to mid 20s. But overall, I'd probably say we're looking at a good, we're looking at a good like 8 out of 10 here, which says a lot, especially from me. I'm a big music critic. I say how it is, Also, I have this new YouTube space for recording. I have empty walls here. I have a Pierce from Within flag and a Scattered Remnants flag. Let me know what other flags I can get, kind of fill the room up with metal. Trying out this new space, so apologies if it's kind of bare. But if you haven't checked out this band, do so. If you're wondering about buying it, do so. I would if you have, a few bucks to spend. This is one of the releases that I think will be mentioned in 2025 lists for EPs, at least demos. Obviously not album, but it is something that will be, I think you will see a lot of in 2025 going on lists. So